Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
What happened? What happened?
The movement before. Oh, it got me.
Yes, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. On today's exciting episode, what movie are we going to be discussing, Mr. Jake?
We are discussing 2024's Late Night with the Devil, directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I can't do it.
They are two brothers from Australia.
You're
You're too nervous. You're too nervous.
I'm not good at accents.
I'm okay if I'm drunk enough.
Do it.
No, I'm too.
All right.
I've had maybe a club cocktail tonight. Yeah, this is a Shudder original movie that actually got a theatrical release last month, but we decided pretty early on we were going to wait for this one to come out for everyone to be able to watch instead of having to go to the theater to watch a movie that we're covering. So it is cool to be able to cover a newer movie with our fans and do some the newest movie we've covered. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But before we get into Late Night with the Devil, what would we like to let anyone new to the J Squared Horror Podcast know, buddy?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
You can also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
As well as Apple.
There too.
And also Instagram.
Always.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, two lifelong horror fans decide to drink,
That we do.
get together, and talk all things horror. With this podcast, we are not information-based. No. We are conversation-based. So if that intrigues you at all, stick along, watch us. Go check out our website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can check out the website if you want to be a part of the podcast, figure out a way to do it there, and join in on the conversation because we like to include as many different styles of horror fans as we can to open up all lines of communication and love for horror, why you got into horror and things like that. What I'd also like to mention real quickly is we are a part of the Darkcast Network. The Darkcast Network is the best of indie true crime, dark, strange, and now horror podcast. As you hear, you know when we're released. So if you need fills for your week on podcasts, please check out the Darkcast Network. You can go to darkcastnetwork.com or you can go to their website. Please support everyone over there because they've been supporting us for some time and we love them over there. They've been great for us. Now, just to let everybody know, the reason we're starting off this month with Late Night with the Devil being a Shudder original is that for the entire month of May, the entire month of May, we are covering only movies that are Shudder originals.
Shout out to Shudder.
Shout out to Shudder, the sponsor we wish we had. We're excited. They do a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, us starting off with the biggest one that they've had, especially this month in particular. But we both really wanted to watch this movie. We'll be posting what we're going to be covering. Obviously, we'll mention at the end of the episodes what the next week's episode is going to be. But yes, this entire month we are covering Shudder original horror films. And in kind of celebration, we're at the halfway point to Halloween. So that's pretty exciting. So get you guys able to watch some free for a lot of people if they have Shudder. I think Shudder's like $5.99 a month. So if you like horror and you want to be able to keep up with this month, once again, we are not sponsored by Shudder, but go get Shudder or AMC Plus and enjoy these movies because they're a lot of fun. So if you want to check out Late Night with the Devil, before we get into it, obviously, as you guys know, as fans of the J Squared Horror Podcast, if you're new to our podcast, we are a spoiler-filled podcast. We do not do spoiler-free sections because this is just genuine conversation. We don't break it apart. So we might spoil something that you don't want to be spoiled pretty early on. We don't mean to, but that's why we give you a warning. If you want to watch this movie and not have anything spoiled, we both think it's worth the watch.
It is.
It's an hour and like 38 minutes. It's good paced. It's a good movie. We both enjoyed it. So go check it out, then come back and enjoy our episode on it, or listen to us and our thoughts and opinions and go check it out. Jake, how do you feel after just watching it? Because I think you just watched it a couple hours ago.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, God. It's the devil.
yeah.
Ah.
It's just spewing out of me. I loved the late night concept of it. 'Cause I'm a big late night fan.
Talk show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love like Conan when he.
I loved Conan years ago.
Yeah. More. Yeah, I'm like 10 to 15 years
When
ago.
it was Conan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
I hate Jimmy Kimmel.
I remember watching reruns like Carson when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Jay
Yeah.
Leno.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't like.
I do not like Kimmel.
Really?
I like Fallon.
Over Kimmel?
Yeah.
I'm more of a Kimmel guy.
I don't like Kimmel.
I ain't like Fallon on SNL. So
Oh.
even back then, I was like, yeah, I can't fuck with this dude.
I saw him in Taxi, and I was like, I can fuck with this guy.
Huh.
And then Fever Pitch, and I was like, this guy's my future.
I like Kimmel when he was on The Man Show.
The Man Show Kimmel
Yeah.
was, I think, the real Kimmel. This new Kimmel's like a brainwashed psychopath.
This is a family-friendly Kimmel.
That also, he like gets his nose in too much
You think so?
politics, and him and Aaron Rodgers' beef was weird. It's just like,
Aaron Rodgers says some outrageous shit.
it was
though.
taken out of context. He didn't
Taken
just
out of
say that.
context.
He didn't just say that. It was in the context of an entire conversation.
I mean,
But in my opinion,
yeah,
I think talk shows, especially because this movie's based in 77-ish.
I think it's like 73 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
right. It's all the same shit.
yeah, it's in the 70s,
Yeah.
and that's when these shows were at their top. That's everybody's glued in front of the TV. There wasn't as much. There was no online. There was not like you had to get your family together or your wife and you together to watch this.
Yeah, because it talks about him going against the king of late night during that time, Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson, which
Yeah.
is like was the face of late night.
Yeah,
And I thought it was cool because, like, there's like us right now, like we're kind of just a glorified talk show.
yeah,
You know,
Which-
we would love to be
which I love.
a horror talk show. Like that would be our ultimate goal. So I feel like going into this movie, we were both kind of excited anyway,
yeah.
because we've had numerous conversations. Obviously, you guys don't know this, but our like ultimate goal would be to be like picked up by Shudder and to have a late night with J Squared and just interview different people and once again open up lines of conversation with different people in horror from our perspectives and have like cool guests on and do like a weekly episode that way.
Would you do an opening monologue?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
You would?
I kind of stand on my dot and
Okay.
read my teleprompter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be off to the side. Just
Yeah, you're the fucking, you're that guy.
I am that guy.
But also, no, not necessarily. It would be an interesting dynamic for us because you're way more a part of the show. I would want you to be way more a part of the show than that side character.
Yeah,
I don't want you to just take I don't want you to just take my punches all the time.
dude, I would just stand off to the side and I would introduce the guest. Just job is fucking cake.
Just finally making money off of it. I do less now than I did when we were
Exactly.
doing this shit for free. But no, I really loved the concept. We tried our best to stay. We knew our plan. We didn't know how quickly we would cover Late Night with the Devil. We know we wanted to cover it. So when it came out in theaters, I think we both watched the original trailer, and we had heard. Jake in particular had heard this, so I'll let him say it. What were some of the buzzings online about this movie?
Only one thing I heard
Yeah.
was that the trailer was kind of misleading as to what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
And I 1000% disagree.
And we're only going off of the early trailer that we saw.
Yeah.
So we probably saw one of the least
yeah, that is
intuitive
pretty
trailers.
fucking obvious
I thought it
gonna
was,
happen.
yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's more to the story than maybe what you thought, but that's the whole point in a movie.
Yeah, but you knew
You know, it was
there was a devil
a devil,
and
a girl, and
yes, and you knew from what Jack Delroy, Everything about his
Good job.
his look just says this dude clearly sold his soul for some shit. And his show's struggling, and now it's time to revamp it and blah blah blah. I got that from the trailer.
You can see he's kind of downtrodden.
Yeah,
Just this act, I can't think of the actor's name. I probably wouldn't be able to read it anyway because I remember last night, even in the post credits, I was like, "Ugh."
not doing that.
That's Jake's job. That's Jake's job. This guy, the main actor in this movie, you can look him up. I really think I would botch his name if I even tried. He's been a side character in a lot of great movies. Prisoners being one. I know he was in some other stuff, but
He's in The Dark Knight.
yeah, he's in The Dark Knight. That was the thing I was telling you about. So when he originally got the script for The Dark Knight,
Oh, that was the movie.
yeah,
you're talking about?
he like read it wrong or like wasn't paying attention. He wasn't sure what he was doing, and then he was like, I showed up, and there's just like, I shoot Gordon. Like he's like, holy shit! Like the dude. Like if you guys want, I would say this because it really brought me into this movie a lot better, seeing him finally get his limelight. But watch some of the interviews and the podcasts that he's done lately because he is a down to earth, real dude.
Yeah.
He was older when he got his start in Hollywood, and he is not your Hollywood cliche look.
Did not
He's
know
kind of wonky. He's definitely on the darker side. Like I think on a lot of podcasts, he's wearing like, black metal type t-shirts, painted nails. Like the dude's cool. Like he would probably vibe very well here, but he is just like honest. He's just like, yeah, no fucking clue what I was doing. I was just like, I'm there. And he seems like a really down to earth guy. So if you want to appreciate what you get from him in this movie, I'd honestly, check out some podcast clips, check out some interviews with him. Obviously I've seen some on like TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that. And I was pretty intrigued by him alone. That really got me excited about seeing it seems like his first big feature as the main. And he's got it's just like crazy because like I close my, like if you told me the synopsis of this movie, like that's almost like the character my brain would build.
Really?
Like I just feel like he's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination. He's not like as handsome as most people would consider, but
he's not traditionally
his sideburns and hair and how tall and lanky he is.
Yeah, because seeing him stand next to his friend, like, dude, you're a fucking giant.
But it pulls off like the Conan. That's what Conan O'Brien looks like now.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously modern, tall, lanky, funny, and he's got his people. And I was just like, yo, this guy is like the perfect cast. And then you watch the movie and you're like, holy fucking shit. He really does this well.
He does. He has the right amount of like cheesiness and like corniness as a host. And when jokes land or don't land, you can just see it. It's good.
It's very good.
It's very good.
And
he plays a late night TV host
perfectly
that is struggling compared to the big dog.
Yeah.
Very well.
And also everything he's gone through in life.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, we'll get into that in just a second. But the thing that I love is like also like the most intense shit will be happening. And he's like, and we'll be back from our sponsors. And he's just like mellow, calm, cool. And
I got a fucking job to do.
Yeah. He's like, I got to pay these bills. And it's like, I wish we could say the same on our episodes, but we're not there yet. And it's just cool because it's like watching somebody that like had he's already been through the roller coaster of nothing, stardom, nothing, and you're catching him on that plateau again. And that's where this movie comes in because he's doing a Halloween special to save his late night show. This is possibly his last episode ever. He knows this. Everybody in the building knows this. And he decides to do a Halloween night special. And it's fucking rad. Just the general concept of it. So you bring on, and in the we'll call it the mid 70s. If you did that today, it would push the envelope, right? Imagine Jimmy Fallon having mediums, like people that are trying to prove mediums wrong, and then a psychiatrist and a possessed girl in a cult. And she was the only survivor of an actual demonic ritual cult.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon couldn't handle that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't imagine. Nobody could. Today. No. Kimmel's a bitch.
He's not a bitch.
And he would start crying on national TV. But I'm saying, like, the fact that they did that in the, that's like Exorcist, dude. Like, the people were puking and running out of the theater.
Yeah.
Like, that's a time where, like, it was a very, like, I honestly feel like America was so religion-based anyway. Obviously, that's gotten diluted over the years.
Yeah.
But in the fucking 70s, like, even in the beginning of the movie, it's like showing clips of, like, fucking riots and war and Nam and like we bitch and moan now where it's like during COVID we had these crazy riots and the BLM movement and like all this stuff and we're all like, oh my God, how could this happen? Bro, look at the fucking 70s. That was just what you're seeing on TV.
Yeah.
We have fucking 4K cameras in our pockets at all times, so we're getting to see this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
All you could see back then was what the TV was telling you. It fundamentally changes the dynamic of the movie. And it's crazy for these brothers to decide to go back to the 70s and show it, because I feel like watching it now, because of everything a lot of us have gone through, it's fucking eye-opening.
Yeah.
Like how much it truly pushes it. This movie is deep. Probably way deeper than me and you could ever try to dive into.
Yeah. I mean, I love any movie set in like a certain decade. For whatever, if it's like
when it's true to the decade, I love it. Yeah.
Like when we talked about Dark Harvest.
Yeah. It came out the like late 50s, early 60s. Yeah.
I love movies just like time periods.
Yeah.
I love that type of stuff.
Yeah. And it takes you out of your current reality and puts you into another one for a little bit where you can draw these lines and these parallels and comparisons.
Yeah, or people in the back and smoke while they're working.
Yeah,
and just
dude.
the way they're talking to each other. Yeah.
I fucking love it. I wish we could smoke during the podcast. I think we do like 3-hour episodes. My rental agreement does not agree with that. If we ever make it big, dude, then we're gonna have cigars and cigarettes on the podcast. Jeez.
We have like an old school talk show type vibe.
Yeah.
We can sit and drink and smoke and talk to people.
I mean, we do the one thing very well. Now, the one thing that this movie does add in is some heartbreak, because you find out that the love of his life, the apple of his eye, passes away due to lung cancer, probably due to secondhand smoke, but they didn't know that back then. So they're like, a non-smoker gets lung cancer, crazy, while her husband smokes a pack a day. It's like, I think I figured out what happened there. And it shows like, cause they tell you during the, like, kind of like the first little third of the movie that like, he's kind of nearing the top of his career. And the episode where his sick wife came on was almost top Carson's.
But you can't beat Carson.
Can't beat Carson. And then he disappears. He goes away. And then it alludes to kind of this whole subplot of the movie, or main plot of the movie, I guess, where they say that he goes into the woods with a old-timey, very wealthy, basically cult of white dudes, then comes out.
Well, yeah, he sold his soul.
Yeah.
To the devil.
Yeah.
So
do you think that it's alluding a lot to the Illuminati and everything that's going on today with people questioning the sacrifices that certain people might have to make in order to get this success?
No.
You don't feel like that played into this movie at all?
Not one bit. I don't.
What?
I said not one bit.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that was it at all.
I 1000% do.
Well, I feel like the whole Illuminati aspect, but not based on what's happening now, I don't think. But just that idea in general, like with the skull and bones or whatever, and that whole concept of, there being a society of people, it could be Illuminati or not.
Yeah.
Society of people to where you make certain sacrifices in the event for success. Now, I think that's what resulted in his wife dying.
No, it's almost confirmed at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But the thing is I was like, was that a fever dream? Not a fever, but you know what I'm saying. Was that like his Delulu brain kicking in because of everything that was happening?
So I don't know, because the way the movie ends.
The end of the movie is kind of fucking wild.
Yeah.
It is fucking wild. But I don't know, man. I guess me and my sister dive into a lot.
Okay.
The concepts of the Illuminati. And just like the whole like humiliation thing. And then when Cat Williams came out and started talking his talk, I'm like, how little do I fucking know about the world? And then it's like, all right, so say, we're on the cuspice of success.
Yeah.
And somebody tells you, hey, I have the solution to all of your problems.
Okay. What is it?
Just do what we say and do not ask why. Because I can't imagine you're going into that. And obviously it shows in this movie. They may say you have to make a sacrifice, but you may not know exactly what it entails.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
That's the scariest part.
It made me think of the movie Wishmaster.
I haven't seen that one.
Where the guy's I guess a genie or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so for example, the guy asked what he wants.
Yeah.
And he said, well, is there a limit to what I can get? He said, just your imagination.
Oh, no shit.
Okay, I'm not greedy. $1 million. He says, done.
Oh.
To get that $1 million, it's a cut scene to the guy's mom getting on a plane, and she signs like her policy, her life insurance, whatever.
Oh, no, it's $1 million?
Yeah, plane takes off and blows up. That's his $1 million. So I think it's like that type of thing.
Yeah.
There's some type of loophole to it. So my answer will always be no.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Now, so
they're like, what if, for example,
yeah, like how would they be able to convince you though?
They wouldn't be able to.
Like nothing. Like what if they're just like, you just kind of got to come along with us?
I think I'll pass.
So you need everything in writing up front before any yeses.
So I can skim it over.
Yeah, we call our lawyers because J Squared has those.
Yeah, and I would probably still say no.
You did.
Yeah,
you did
because
we have an example
there
in our podcast. I'll just tell you guys this, right?
No, don't tell them.
So check this out.
Don't tell them.
Check this out. No, Jake, I'm just going to confirm that you cannot think that Jake's bullshitting right now. I'm going to confirm it.
Okay, go on.
Because when we first started this podcast, we are two guys, barely knew each other, getting into everything that we're getting into. We started off with a little bit of bang, if you will. We got some numbers that kind of fuck with our heads now because we don't always get them.
Yeah.
Now that was a lot of friends and family that have all turned their backs on us now. If obviously they're not going to hear this because they don't listen to us anymore. So we're getting this thing going and it's feeling great. We're nervous as fuck. Our podcast kind of sucks, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wasn't a big fan of it. At the time, we're just trying to figure out how we can sit there and talk about podcasting. Jake had a coworker at the time that had his own thing going on, and then he came to Jake with a proposal. The proposal was kind of insane. So it was $5,000 a piece, which might not seem like a lot of money to you guys. But for a broke kid from Chesapeake, Virginia, that has never had that in his account at one time.
Yeah, the guy wanted to start a podcasting network.
He did. He wanted to start a podcasting network with J Squared Horror as the helm. But what Jake realized is he also wanted the publication rights to the podcast, which at the time we didn't necessarily know. But what that meant is if we ever got monetized from anything or got sponsors from anything, he would get that and we wouldn't. So our $5,000 a piece legitimately would probably have been the only money we saw if we ever succeeded.
Yeah, he wanted to have his logo in the corner.
Yeah, he wanted to have his logo in the bottom and things like that. So Jake's not bullshitting you when he says he will say fucking no. And he had to look at me and be like, I'm not going to tell you what you got to do, but like, think about it, dude. Because I was like, where do I sign? And that's not even $1 million. That's only $5,000. So who knows what I would do if there's like a 6-figure or 9-figure number in front of my eyes.
So if you're a part of this society and they say to you, we can make the J Squared Horror podcast
the biggest thing ever.
The biggest, most infamous podcast ever.
Yeah. Who am I giving you?
See?
Who you got to take?
I mean, for all you know, it could be me. It could be
No,
you.
that doesn't work.
Why not?
Because I need you.
Yeah,
I do.
If something were to happen to me and it became like a big deal, it would make the podcast more popular, make it infamous.
Yeah, but I'm done.
You're not done.
I am done.
You're not done until your debt is paid. That's how it works.
No, but I'm done if you die.
That's what you think.
Yeah. And they could kill me if they kill you. That's fine.
You sign that dotted line? Psh.
That's fine. If they take you or
they could just take you.
Oh, that's fine.
Because they never said it'd be you who prosper from it.
You could prosper from it.
They say it would be a big deal now.
So if I signed it and I died, would you continue?
No.
Making millions?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. What if I wrote in the bylaw, like, you get it all?
It's just money.
I mean, that's true.
True, because at the end of the day, the only purpose money really serve, people work hard to make it, to save it, to give it to someone else.
Yeah, you die and give it to somebody else.
Yeah, even before you die, just give it to someone else.
Yeah,
You're buying shit, you're buying property. Unless you like are the owner of something,
yeah,
you're just giving it to someone else.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I was wondering about that because, like, you know what?
This dude lost his fucking wife over it for his mediocre late night show.
Yeah. Well, it's not mediocre. It's second place. I mean, that's not bad. Against the greatest to ever do it, probably.
True. So
it'd be like Dead Meat and then us, and we can never beat Dead Meat.
But then when they show like the true, the picture of it was like Carson was like 3, and like 40 something was this dude.
Yeah, once he started, like once his wife died and stuff. Before, like I think he made the sacrifice. Or I guess it had to like. It's like a humbling clause too.
Yeah, so he made the sacrifice, but then they talk about that's what been like a rumor as to what he's doing with these people out there.
Yeah,
and that's wife gets sick,
dies
2 weeks later, dead.
Yeah,
he goes into hiding, doesn't want to be seen by the public. Then you want to come back. The said, dude, okay, well we did with our part.
Yeah, your
debt's not paid, so get fucking back to work.
Yeah, you got to get back to work. You got to get in front of these people. How did you feel about the? You know, we've kind of gone back and forth on mediums on the podcast, especially with Grave Encounters when we covered that. The medium in this was perfect. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, he was
so over the top.
Yeah.
Wrong so many times.
He was a fake, yeah.
But he wasn't, though, because he still technically was right at one point.
What, the shit with Jack?
That, and then also, I think it was. What do you think? What do you think the final outcome of that family and the son that killed himself?
Yeah, that was all bullshit.
Because of the questionnaire that they asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was explaining that when he was talking to them. That pretty much canceled
Correct.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that canceled that out.
Okay.
So it paints in your mind that dude's a fake, but at the same time, the shit really happened to him.
But it's because the devil.
Yeah.
Then took control of the situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't him being a medium, I guess.
True.
Yeah. He died.
Yeah.
Projectile black vomits on some shit.
I didn't like this off screen. I didn't like that. He died the way to the ambulance.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that just because of what it did to everyone. If he would have died there, they would have canceled the show. The show couldn't have gone on if he died there. That's why I was okay with it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Like, I needed to see what happened. Like, if he's the first fucker that dies and this shit ends with him, I'm so pissed.
I don't know. The way Jack fell, he might have said, fuck it. Keep it going.
I mean, he would, but like legally he couldn't have. Like, there's probably so much red tape you would have had to go to.
HR been there.
Just to know.
Shut this shit down.
At that point, they didn't know that this episode probably could never air. That doesn't happen until towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is still hearsay. Could it be magic or not magic, but could it be stage work and fancy stuff? And it's just like, then you get the cool, Mr. Everything's wrong, everything's a lie. I'll give you $500,000. And then 77 or in the mid 70s, $500,000 is a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like we look at it probably like, okay, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
And he is true until the end. That character. I can't think of his name, but I liked his character.
Like Carmichael?
Yeah, Carmichael. Yeah.
What I don't understand is
he's a dick.
Is he a magician?
Yeah. He was a magician that then came out to out people. Like that's his whole thing.
But dude, you're what?
Yeah.
That's why I get going. He said he's a liar and he's a fraud, but he's honest about it. How does the two happen? How can you be a fraud and be honest about it?
I don't know. It's just his way of like making it okay.
But his magic was really good though.
Yeah, the cigar and then the lighter. Yeah.
So that was kind of corny. But when he hypnotized the crowd,
bro, we're getting there. So we got to introduce the next two characters first.
What the fuck?
Yeah, let's introduce the next two characters first, where you get the psychologist, Dr. Lady, and the girl that came from the cold.
Which Jack is hitting that.
Jack's hitting it.
The psychiatrist, not the...
Not the 13-year-old.
Can you specify who it is?
The psychiatrist, that's a grown-ass woman.
An adult.
I was, like, intrigued because you have that whole Manson stuff going on back then, too. And I feel like this movie played on that a little bit with the whole age of the girl and the fact that she was a young girl manipulated by a group of people.
Yeah.
And then she got taken in. But what's crazy is they made an agreement that they would not do exactly what they do on this show. And I get it. You know, Jake's said this many times. I will do about anything on my podcast to hopefully make it.
Yeah, that's why you're Jack in the situation.
I'm Jack.
You're
I am
pushing envelope.
1000% Jack in this movie.
Now just with Gus, that's his name?
Yeah, poor Gus. Gus is a real one, though. Gus is a real one. But
once we get there, I got a lot to say about
so
that.
they have this whole thing where it's like Jack calls them out like on camera, live in front of the audience, where he's like, "We should bring out the fucking Wiggle Man," which is the devil.
I did not like that.
And he put it to where like the whole crowd and everybody is like, "Yeah," and the girl's like, "Yeah," and the teacher
the
or the
audience has spoken
after these breaks.
So you're going to do it, right?
Yeah. And then she's like, "Yo, that's fucked up. You should have done that." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck. I'll bring y'all back."
Pretty
too.
much, yeah. I don't give a fuck.
He's like, literally, he's like, "I don't give a fuck." And he's like going in the back. What's crazy is like on camera, he's like super nice, minus that. Like he basically told her right then and there, like he doesn't give a fuck, even on camera. But when they cut to like the background scenes, you kind of see what he truly is. And it is that guy that wants his show to succeed.
He's a fucking dirtbag.
He's telling people to shut the fuck up, smoking cigarettes, taking shots of fucking gin, it looked like. And it's just like, yo, this guy's the real deal. And his Jake is coming by and being like, "Hey, man, I'm kind of scared here." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up," and smile. And it's just like that producer guy's a dick. He's a dick. And this poor Jake character, I'm just going to call him the Jake character, is just like, yo, the staff is starting to walk. Well, then walk. Like, they don't give a flying fucking outer space.
Let me say something right now. If I tell you the staff's getting ready to walk,
Let them walk.
and you say, let them walk, say, okay, well, staff, let's all go walk, because I'm fucking out there too.
Cheers to you, pussy.
I am out. And I went.
But we know, most of us know on the podcast.
Since the 70s, I'll read about it in the newspaper to what happened.
I couldn't shoot you a text after and let you know. Yeah. So then they do the fucking opening up the devil. The Mr. Wiggle is his name.
Bad idea.
It's a bad idea because she needs it to be a controlled environment, and she's in front of a live studio audience and a lot of electricity and power. And if you know anything about ghosts or spirits, they can feed off of electronics to make themselves stronger. I've seen it a lot on Ghost Adventures. They use a lot of things like that. It makes sense in my head because they are electronically around.
Yeah, that was all bullshit.
No.
I think Mr. Wiggles, what's his name, right?
Yeah.
Was always prominent in her from the moment she got in that building.
He's been talking a lot more than it comes across.
Yeah. Every time she talked, I think it's him.
Yeah. I think she's being heavily influenced by him until she's not there anymore.
Because when she goes, "Hey, so he was talking about you yesterday," she kept saying Jack, saying some weird shit.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Just a heads up. This shit's getting wild. And he's like, "Sweet. This is going to be good. It's going to be great for the show."
Yeah.
It's going to be great for the show.
Like, fuck Carson.
Like, if I bring on a guest and it's like, "Yo, they were like talking about it," like, good. That's the whole point.
Fantastic.
Sick. That makes me want to do it more.
That's why he goes, "Oh, so she's excited to be on the show?"
She's excited to be on the show? Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Are you an
No,
idiot?
you're not listening to what I'm saying. They're saying your name was in the book of the devil cult. He's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the rating should be good.
So when they bring out Mr. Wiggle, it goes super exorcist makeup and look and voice, and it's okay.
Which I liked. So you see where that like super exaggerated mouth.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of that. I love that.
Yeah, the eyes. I love the eyes and a little bit of like scarring.
It looks like he's coming from under her skin.
Yeah.
Skin like open up. I love that.
It's like she's a puppet.
Exactly.
And I don't know how they did it. It looks amazing.
It does look good.
It looks good.
And the quick scene where she's trying to untie him, she like lunges at her arm, and the mouth and the face changes like really quick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So when they do this, it doesn't go to plan, obviously, because there's like oohs and ahs in the audience, and then there's a part where she's like, the girl, the demon now, looks at Jack and is just like, I know you. And he's like, I don't think we've ever met before.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you
I
don't
don't think
even
so.
believe it while he's saying it.
Yeah.
Like, you look at him and you're like, I've seen you for like, 45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour now. I'm not believing
Yeah.
anything. Like, he
You're-
doesn't look
you're
scared.
You're definitely lying.
What's crazy is he never looks scared.
He left. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Like, literally just like, got to keep this act up because it's going.
We've met you in the tall trees. Like,
Yeah. No, you
I don't
haven't.
think so.
We know because we heard the little intro. Nobody in that building had heard it. So this all goes down. It's intense. It's crazy. Reminds me a lot of the original Exorcist, but obviously modern, and it looked really good. Like Jake said, the puppeting of the mouth and the way she looked and the movements, it was all solid.
Yeah, and the different voice
The
and everything.
fear, it reminded me a lot of Emily Rose too, with the whole voice thing
yeah.
too. The fear in the doctor's eyes because there's no priest there. Like she is just like somebody that uses science and logic to try to help this poor girl. So then
That girl was playing her from the fucking
playing her like
jump.
a fucking fiddle,
From the
dude.
jump.
From like a fiddle. She just wanted to get on TV. It just wanted to get on
Unleash that
TV
shit.
around Jack and unleash it. But what's crazy is this is where the movie gets the most interesting for me.
Okay.
Like, I love the possession stuff. I love the medium stuff. I love the guy that's trying to disprove, debunk this stuff, if you will.
Yeah.
Then you get the part where everybody's like, yo, that shit she levitated. There were no ropes. There were no strings. She fucking levitated.
While that's happening, you see Carmichael like, I'm not buying
Literally,
it.
like he's in
as it's
he's in the
happening.
background, just like getting more comfortable in his seat. Like, I cannot wait to fuck y'all up on my
Yeah,
explanation.
pretty much, yeah.
So you're sitting there as a fan of this movie, and you're like, yo, how the fuck is Carmichael going to explain this? And he goes, and he's like, you know what? Good job. And I'm like, what? Like, good job, bro. I'm scared right now.
I
Like,
was like,
my armpits are a little
what
sweaty.
the fuck is he gonna show
and
us?
dude, it's crazy. So he brings on Jake's character
yeah.
to help. And I'm like, yo, I know exactly what would happen to Jake, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Dude, I thought the exact
Yeah.
same fucking thing.
So he's like, look, guys, I'm going to disprove it so much there will be no other questions asked. And you're like, a fucking fool? Send my guy.
Do with that.
Yeah. So he breaks out this fucking watch, pocket watch, and he's like, check this shit out. And he does some little magic. Then he makes it all swirly. He's going to hypnotize us. And I'm not going to lie. I get into shit, right?
Yeah.
I do. I get into movies.
Dude.
I'm physically like kind of sweaty.
When he pulled that shit
I
out,
looked away.
I
looked away, dude.
I leaned in.
I looked away.
And the off chance that this may legitimately work, fuck it.
Dude, I was,
Because when I was a kid, I used to love that on like TV shows and shit.
No, dude,
Where,
see, here's the
taking
thing.
The you are getting sleepy.
I don't even think you know this.
What?
I think the only person in this right now that knows this is myself.
Okay, what is
I
it?
am fucking terrified of being hypnotized.
What?
Do you not remember my movie idea that I had 2 years ago?
Terrifying. You're getting hypnotized.
Do you not remember my movie idea that I had
Why?
2 years ago?
Why?
Do you not remember it?
Sidetrack. Why?
You don't have control of your fucking brain anymore.
Okay.
You can be made to believe any fucking thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't fucking terrify you at your core.
Let me tell you something.
I'd rather be possessed by a demon than hypnotized.
For
my guy.
all you know, you could have already been hypnotized.
Shut the fuck! Don't do this to
You
me
could,
right now.
though.
Don't do this to me right now.
I'm just saying, you could be.
I looked at the swirly thing a little bit last night, man. I'm kind of freaking out right
Dude,
now. I don't know if my life is even real anymore.
There are times where things happen like consecutive, like really good for me. And I think,
This can't be real.
well, a week ago, I was like driving home from work or doing something and someone ran a red light and I had to slam on the brakes to stop. Maybe I
The
didn't stop.
fucking butterfly effect.
Maybe I
oh,
didn't
you
stop.
thinking you're dead?
Maybe I got hit in a fucking coma or something.
Dude, we're going to have
Who
to
knows?
start a whole other podcast for this conversation right now because I'm getting sweaty right now.
Dude.
I don't fucking like it.
I'm just saying.
I know, dude. Like, what's crazy is like, you don't fucking know is the most fucked up part in this movie.
Yeah.
Why I love this movie so much is this shit right
Because
here.
at that point, you no longer know.
There's no confirmed
You no longer know what the fuck is happening.
because he does it and he makes the co-host believe he's terrified of worms,
Which is close enough to
to tentacles.
Yeah.
And makes him believe that he is filled with them. Everything that is inside of him now becomes worms. So you're watching this, and everybody in the building is watching this, and he's ripping his stomach open. He has a wound on his neck. He pulls some worms out. I imagine a fat fucking tentacle coming out for Jake.
Yeah.
And then he opens the stomach. It's just fucking, fucking
I'm like-
suction
I'm
cups
like
and tentacles.
The Thing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jake's having a heart attack right now. I'm sweating because I'm terrified of hypnotism. So like, okay, fuck you, dude. You're scared of octopi, and I'm scared of hypnotism. Mine makes way more sense. I'll continue with my thought process, but still, don't shade me for being scared of being
I'm not
hypnotized.
shading. I'm just saying mine is a proven thing that I can touch if I really wanted to and can look up.
Hypnotism can be true.
Can be or is.
It is. I've
'Cause-
seen NFL people get hypnotized, and it scares me.
So you wouldn't do it.
No.
How do you know that you haven't been before?
Because I've never been in that situation, so I'm just going to go off of that alone.
Well, it's not 1970.
I know.
They don't need watches.
And technically speaking, like, even if you watch like Halloween 3 Seasons of the Witch, like, what if that movie technically did fucking hypnotize a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know.
What if music you listen to has hypnotized you over the years?
I mean, maybe.
You don't know.
I don't, but it's stop.
I'm just saying.
Okay, because I'm going to put octopuses in your bed
It's a
so I can just
possibility.
get through this.
Okay, this is the last episode of the podcast.
Yeah, well, you're freaking my fucking brain out right now because I cannot process the thinking of being hypnotized. Like, there's like, I was listening to the radio a couple months ago, and it was like, you can get hypnotized to stop smoking. And I was like, nah, that's terrifying.
That's
You
like,
can get hypnotized to lose weight.
It's like Get Out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But Get Out did it a little different.
Well, the first thing she does is to make him stop smoking.
And it is hypnotism too.
Yeah.
Which, but for some reason, like this level of it just it fucked with me. Because it's like this level that freaks me out. Like what happens to him in it, he just falls into the sunken place. And I'm like, that's not that scary.
I think with this movie, it's
the fact that he did it to so many fucking
what I'm saying.
people at
it
one
was
time.
the scale of it.
That's why what you're saying right now is freaking me out.
But only
I watched this movie last night. And
only a couple of people it didn't affect.
I had to smoke a cigarette after this movie.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I was kind of fucked up because hypnotism does scare me. That's why my first movie idea was so heavily on that because I am so scared of it. I've never really admitted that to anybody unless it's like a topic that we're talking about, and unfortunately, it is right now.
It is right now.
But it fucking, dude, just imagine that. Like, imagine you're like normal, and it's just like you get fucking wiggled, and then next thing you know, you just imagine if you're like thinking that like they can make you believe that you're dying a slow death, but painfully. And your brain will tell you that shit. Because I believe in the placebo effect.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, somebody said they weren't feeling good. Then I wake up the next morning, my throat's scratchy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not feeling. Maybe I got the fucking COVID. It's like, dude, your brain is so fucking
isn't that being
powerful.
what's it called?
Hypochondriac.
Yeah.
But
That's
still,
not the same
it's just I'm just saying the power of the human brain that we don't understand.
Okay.
It's just like it can make you believe things that are just so unbelievable.
And when you're hypnotized, it unlocks,
unlocks
that part
parts
your
of
brain
it.
that you aren't used to using.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That you
dude.
can't tap into.
They have, like, scientists have said we only use 10% of our brain. So what if somebody tinkers around with 85% of it, dude? That's fucking scary to me. It's so scary.
You're like a fucking robot.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you no longer have control because your little 10% is now way overpowered by the other whatever they unlock. It's fucking scary, dude.
Okay.
So when he does this, you're sitting there and you're watching it and you're like, fucking worms, dude. This movie's bonkers. And you're like, holy shit. And he's so cocky.
Yeah.
He's so confident and cocky.
Yeah.
He sits down and he goes, pretty crazy, huh? And everybody's like, yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
That happened, but it like didn't happen. And he's like, all right. I think Jack was like, roll the tape back.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Carmichael. I can't remember who exactly said
No,
it.
I think it was Jack. He was like, so.
If this didn't happen,
he said,
nobody would have seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
said-
Oh, that's right. Because he admitted to he hypnotized everybody.
And
Yeah.
he asked, does everyone remember
And like
seeing the
3 or
worms?
4 people were like, no.
Like, nah, fuck
Yeah.
the worms.
And then they replay it and nothing happened.
There's no worms. Yeah.
He is telling them that it's happening, but it's not on camera.
Yeah, and then even the stuff that we saw,
Yeah.
when they replay it, isn't what happened word for word.
I know.
And Jack, I'll remember that.
Yeah. He's like, and now you believe you have worms.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, no, that's not. I can rewind my movie, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I was like, okay, I didn't get hypnotized. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So that made me think, oh shit.
So then you're like, oh, this fucking doctor pulled off a fucking hypnotism.
Yeah.
She
And
did
she's
it with
like,
her
"Nah, I didn't
cross
do that."
or something. The
Yeah.
words she said put
Yeah.
everybody in a trance. And you're like, okay, so then they're like, let's rewind. And the doctor's like, no,
No.
no,
And she said,
do not do it.
I want everyone to know it's real. We're not leaving. That's what I knew at that point.
We're fucked.
This is about to go bad really
It's about
fucking
to
quick.
get, it's about to get
Really
intense
quick.
so quick. Now, this is one of the instances where you cannot, and I know I'm a hypocrite saying this. This is one of the instances where I honestly feel like you cannot let the look of something distract you from the amazingness of the movie.
What do you mean?
The ending gets a little corny. Visually corny. Now, there's been corny shit throughout the movie where it's like the electricity like looks super. I think they were going for like historically accurate looking. I don't think they meant it to be corny, other than the fact that it was from the 70s.
Yeah, it doesn't look good when Christo
Yeah.
spits out the shit. That
Looks
super
fake.
Yeah.
The electricity going around when she first gets possessed, that looks a little fake.
Yeah.
But when this, when they replay it and they realize that shit really happened, and then she's arm in arm electrified.
Oh, yeah.
And then her fucking head splits. And I just saw an article that was like, some people, the reason they hated this movie is because they used AI in this movie. And I'm wondering if that's one of the main parts where they used AI to make that happen.
That's why they hated it?
Her head splits open,
Yeah.
and it's like electricity,
Shooting on fucking,
fire and electricity.
like Zeus, like fucking
Yeah.
lightning bolts at people.
But what's crazy is the kills that happen.
yeah.
It's like we've had one off-screen death
Yeah.
for a horror movie, and that usually pisses both of us off.
We had with Gus when he yells, "The power of Christ compels you."
Spins his fucking head around. And if
Yeah.
you think about it, he said that earlier. Like, don't take my head off,
His
or don't.
wife likes the setting of his.
Yeah. And it was like the demon knew, like, cool.
Full circle. Got
Splits
him.
his neck. Then I can't even remember how Carmichael dies.
He gets like set on fire.
Oh, gets set on fire.
He pulls that check out. Hey,
Yeah.
You
Hey,
want this?
You want this? And he lights on fire. Then the fucking doctor lady gets killed.
Yeah, she gets the fucking
Dude. So,
with the
crucifix.
wrapped around her neck,
Yeah, she almost gets hereditary.
pulls her up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it slits her fucking throat.
Fucking amazing, dude. So, now that we mentioned that, this movie goes, you think it's over. Then it does this whole
Yeah.
little.
I paused like, damn, 10 minutes left. How? Well, left is Jack, and that's it.
Yeah.
And with
yeah.
the audience, fuck them.
Then it kind of confirms some things.
Yeah.
It is true that he gave his wife up for fame. But in order to get this fame.
So before you get to there,
Yeah.
when because I saw it too when they were rewatching, you see like a face pop up real quick.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of The Exorcist. Same thing.
Mhm.
Well, I
I
didn't.
feel like it was Exorcist influence for sure.
yeah. Well, I didn't see it when they paused it. His wife standing behind him.
He's got her hand
Yeah.
on his shoulder.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah. It was just added. It was probably AI.
Boo.
That part wasn't. And there's, like I said, there is
It
some
doesn't
corniness.
affect the
There's some
movie, but
corniness.
I was just curious
There is some
about
corniness.
Yeah.
But then it goes into this whole backlog. And honestly, I was like, like
Yeah.
I kind of pieced this all together already.
Yeah.
I didn't need it. Now, once again,
All it does is re-show you shit
it
you've
just
already
re-shows
seen.
you that it confirmed that she was like, the reason I'm like this is because of you. But what you don't realize is, I don't know. So what happens is the dagger is in his flashback. So there's a sacrificial dagger that they got from the cult that the girls brought to this thing that's been referenced a couple times in the movie.
Yeah.
Where like he's holding on to it for a really long time, and I thought he was about to start stabbing people, but he doesn't. And then it's like he stabs his wife in the stomach and then comes to, and he's killed the little girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fucking shit.
So now with that,
Did not expect that. I didn't.
fuck no.
Fuck no.
So, but then after he reacts to killing her,
Yeah.
when he stands up, he says like the dreamer wakes up or something
Yeah.
like that, which is what Carmichael had said to Gus when he was hypnotized.
Yeah.
Which make me think, have we been hypnotized the entire fucking movie?
No. That was all real.
So why would he say that?
Because he wanted it to only be hypnotism, not reality.
You think so? So I thought that.
That's what I honestly think.
But then
He was really hoping that he didn't lose everything off of this episode that was supposed to save him.
I also thought to myself, because he mentions how once he got the transcript, it's all he could think about. Maybe he knew that this little girl was legit.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to get her on this show. I'm gonna have her bring that guy devil out. I'm going to fucking kill him right here on TV.
Yeah. But it
went awry.
Because of the hypnotisms and everything, it all went awry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
think-
no longer had a concept of reality in his head.
You know, because when he's going through the flashback, he's like, you can tell he knows like this isn't real.
Yeah, he's like aware,
Yeah.
but also not.
People around him are like, those aren't the with the caveman skit he was doing. She goes,
She's like,
that's
hey,
not the line
where's the-"
he
and he
read.
like takes off his fake beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is like it wouldn't have been unreleasable if none of that happened. We wouldn't have been watching a sort of found footage-esque film.
True. I mean, for all we know, we don't know what happens to Jack in the ending. But for all
Probably
we
goes
know,
to prison.
for all we know, this could have been him just fucking snapping and killing people.
Yeah. But also he didn't get. Oh, well, I guess we don't know.
Because everyone who's on that show or the episode
Died.
is dead.
Yeah. And like
the
when
last thing you see is Jack with a fucking knife in
and
the
the
kid.
girl,
Yeah.
the kid,
Yeah.
yeah, and it
Oh,
kind
so
of
it
reminded
could
you
go
of
both
like,
ways.
you haven't seen it yet, but get Nope,
Okay.
the whole when the monkey goes crazy,
Yeah. I seen that clip on YouTube.
yeah. So when the monkey goes crazy, it gave me like that vibe of just like this. What the fuck? Like they were recording this. Like
Yeah.
there's footage, but this movie is the whole identity of the
Yeah.
movie. So it's just like holy shit. Yeah, and that's the end of the movie. Roll credits, ladies and gentlemen.
I wonder what happened to Jack Del Rio, though.
Who cares?
What do you think of Jack Del Rio?
I don't even know who that is.
Jack Del Rio used to be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars for a while. I think he
Jack
was,
coached the Jacks.
and then I think he was the OC for the Commanders like 2 years ago. He was a coach of the Raiders for one point. Jack Del Rio, guys.
All right.
You guys know Jack Del Rio.
There's our football talk. What was your favorite kill?
Favorite kill would probably be the doctor, the female doctor.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I didn't think
100%.
she was going to die.
I didn't either.
Because
I thought she was going to be like pitied.
Yeah, at that point, that's full just Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah, Mr. Wiggle is there.
The girl's gone.
Girl's
Well,
gone.
I think she was barely there to begin with.
Fighting.
All of the
be there.
dialogue she had with Jack, and when she first comes in, she just sits and
She just stares at the
camera.
cameras. Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to do that.
Look here. Yeah, that's my favorite kill too.
Okay.
It's just the fact that that was supposed to be the reason that she could survive.
Yeah.
And like get her back, and it killed her.
Nah.
Killed her. She levitated and got her neck slit by a rope cord.
Yeah.
It was intense, and it looked great.
It did look very good,
It
actually.
looked really good. The 3 kills, the neck, the burn, and the slit throat were great. But then her with her head splitting and stuff, it did look kind of corny. Is there anything else that we could have possibly missed that you might have picked up on from this movie?
The only thing I want to do is I want to watch the beginning of the movie again just to see if there's anything that happens related to being hypnotized.
Oh yeah,
That's the only thing that would then loop to the fact that
it could have.
it could have all been just we were seeing what they wanted us to see happen, but
Yeah,
in
it never
reality,
really-
he
just killed
murdered all those people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
No, I enjoyed it, but I think that's fun. I think we should watch it together and
You
then
think we
talk.
should,
yeah. We should have a movie night and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it, man. So with that, now that we have no other bits and pieces to add to that, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm really interested in this. On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you give Late Night with the Devil from 2024?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I give this movie an 8.5.
Wow,
I loved this movie.
that's huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
I loved it.
Huge.
What about you?
On a scale from 1 to 10, we have back-to-back 100% agreement
What?
episode. Yes, 8.5 is what I
Okay,
thought
all
last night. Yeah, same reasons, man. The movie's great. I think that I understand why Shudder gave it a theatrical release. I'm happy that they released it on Shudder as well. It'll be interesting to see the rest of the month and how we do. Do you remember what we're covering next week?
Next week, I am unsure what we were covering.
Fuck, it's on my computer. It's on my it's on the notebook paper.
That's right. Is it yeah, I don't know.
We have to let them know.
What's it, When Evil Lurks?
Yeah.
When Evil Lurks.
Next week, ladies and
There you
gentlemen,
go.
we're bringing in another Shudder original. So this whole month is going to be nothing but Shudder originals. And next week, we are going with When Evil Lurks. Oh, thank you guys. Y'all are excited. That's awesome. That's our studio crowd that we have here.
That's for our studio audience.
Yes. Let us know if you watched this movie, what you guys thought in the comments down below on YouTube or on Instagram, J Squared Horror Podcast. You can also go to the website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com, if you want to be a part of the J Squared Horror Podcast. Email us, jsquaredhorror@gmail.com, if you want to talk to us and let us know anything that you might want to hear. But yeah, we're super excited to get into these Shudder originals next week. When Evil Lurks, we're excited to watch that. I know a lot of people were talking about that while it was happening, while that movie was kind of booming.
We caught it on the back
We
end.
caught it on the back end like we always do, baby. But yeah, we hope that this movie, you guys enjoyed it. You guys enjoyed our content on it. A humongous shout out to all of our main supporters. Jeff Balance, who does our design work. As you see here on my t-shirt, on the sign behind me, anything you see on our social medias, that is all done by Mr. Jeff Balance himself. If you need any graphic design work, email us at jsquaredhorror@gmail.com and we can get you in contact with Jeff Balance. If we send you over there, he'll probably hook you up. Great price and great work. A humongous shout out to Lucky Riggs. He did our intro and our outro music. We love it. We haven't hit him up for any more projects, but I'm sure we could if we thought about it enough, but we love it so much we've never thought the need to. Lucky Riggs, thank you so much for doing our intro and our outro music. A humongous shout out to every single one of our fan supporters out there. Every like, every comment, every subscription that we get, we feel it inside. We love it. We love the
feel
hate just as much as we love the love. So if you disagree with us on anything, let us know. We really appreciate you guys chiming in. Our growth has been great. I know we talk shit sometimes, but that's just us being honest with ourselves and our fan group. So yes, if you want to be a part of the J Squared Horror Podcast, do it. A humongous shout out to Mr. Jake Devine.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's just awesome, man. You guys know why. He brings something to the podcast that I need, keeps me humble, keeps you guys entertained and informed. And I wouldn't ask for another host. Thank you so much for always being here every week, regardless of what life throws at us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the J Squared Horror Podcast. You guys have a great week, and remember, it's hip to be squared.